If this is your first time here, my name's Faisal and this is Film Photos, a channel where I document my slice of life street photography. So if you like photography that focuses on quiet, everyday street moments, then stick around and yeah, let's talk some photos. I really like the aesthetic of film photos. I do occasionally shoot film photos from time to time, but it's not always the most practical option for me. It's expensive, and living in the UK, the weather changes every 10 minutes, so the lighting conditions are really variable. The type of photography that I like to do is basically just slice of life, capturing everyday moments. So I'll have my camera in my bag with me and not really preparing for anything in particular. So what I needed is a setup that is quite versatile and flexible to my day-to-day life. Today I wanted to show you a two-part setup that I've been using to create film-like photos on my digital camera in a way that's quite easy, affordable and quite satisfying to shoot. All the photos I want to show you in this video are all straight out of camera, JPEG images with no post-processing at all. I went to meet my friend Anuj on Brighton beach last week and went on a photo walk using this setup, so I wanted to show you the photos I took. I started with a few warm-up shots on my way to the beach, and one way I like to do that is relying on the trusted method of layering. I really like walking past this barbershop. To me, it feels really aesthetic and the colours inside are really nice, and it's got this really cool interior design. As I was heading down to the beach, I spotted my friend Anuj in the distance and I managed to get this cheeky little shot here of him. If you've not been to Brighton before, you may not be familiar with the i360, which is a very divisive structure. It was a very expensive structure to be built, and I don't think it's brought a lot of money into the city. It's effectively, as you can probably tell, a tourist viewing platform. But from a photography perspective, it's actually been a bit of a gift, and it's got some really nice mirrors underneath that I think make for some really interesting reflections and images. Taking photos in Brighton can sometimes feel quite overwhelming with how densely packed it is. Some may argue that's a street photographer's dream, but for me at the beginning of my photography journey, I'm still trying to figure out what my style is, and I think I'm tending to lean towards tighter, more minimal shots. So this particular day was a really interesting activity for me to try and branch out and try something different. I decided to lean into the chaos and capture the scenes as a whole, and I was quite surprised with the images that I got. I love the variety of vertical structures in this scene, with the pillars, the people, the fences, the boats. The theme of the day was very much sports, and this was an excellent moment to capture movement with all the spontaneous activities going on. As I was walking up, I saw this couple who were pausing for a nice quiet moment amongst the busyness, and I thought it was quite a sweet moment. So I want to take this opportunity to highlight how I've got this really nice distortion and chromatic aberrations on this photo, and that is part of my setup, which I'll get to later on. Okay, so you're about to meet one of the stars of today, and that is this bike. I really like this bike. I thought it was pictured in such an interesting way, as if it belonged to the main character of the story. I really love how the light is bouncing off the frame of the bike. I particularly like this photo because of the leading lines that are kind of intersecting. So you've got the line of the walkway at the top and the fence at the bottom, and the bike is kind of perfectly at the crossroads of this and acts as a really nice focal point. This is one photo where if someone saw me doing this, they'd be like, well, what the hell are you doing? But hear me out. I really like this photo because of the pops of color. Again, I think I say this in every video, but I really am drawn to pops of primary color in the environment. All these colors just made the scene feel very animated, and dare I say, did kind of look like a Wes Anderson movie. This is probably my absolute favourite photo from this walk, and this is an example where this setup was just so perfect for me. This to me really looks like it's come straight from a film lab. You've got some beautiful ethereal light that's been distorted in a way that I don't think a normal digital camera can do on its own. So let's pause and talk about what's actually going on with these photos. The first part of this setup is probably no surprise to you if you've seen this channel before, and it's the fact that I'm using a Fujifilm camera. There are so many videos online already explaining the amazing color science of Fujifilm simulations, so I'm not going to bother doing that today. If you're interested in the film simulation I used for this video, I actually talked about it in my last video, so I'll leave a link to that down below for the exact settings. That said, the real magic of these photos doesn't come from the film simulations, but comes from the second part of this. So what is the magic that's bringing this all together? Well, it's this little lens here. This is a plastic lens that is actually repurposed from an old disposable film camera. This particular one is from a company called Ricoh. I will say that this isn't actually a sponsored video, and I've not been paid to talk about this lens in any way, not been told to say anything positive. These are all my own opinions and thoughts. But they were kind enough to reach out to me on Instagram and send me one of these, as they found that my style of photography kind of fit with their brand of replicating digital photos to look like film. If you are interested, however, they have been kind enough to set me up with an affiliate link that gives you 10% discount. So if you want to buy the lens and try it out for yourself and support the channel, then please have a look at the link down below. So let's talk a little bit about what this lens is. This is a very straightforward piece of kit, and if I'm honest with you, when I first saw it, I was a little bit skeptical. But having seen the photos, I'm actually really impressed. It's a very simple plastic shell with a disposable camera lens. There are no mechanics or electronics in this lens. There's a fixed focus range of 1.5 meters to infinity. It has an aperture of about f11. On my Fujifilm XS20, this lens gives a full frame equivalent of about 48 millimeters. I think the main reason that I love this lens so much is that it's so lightweight and compact and basically acts as a prime lens. I actually don't have any other lenses for my Fujifilm camera apart from the kit lens that I'm filming on, which is the 18 to 55 millimeter. I've been looking for a prime lens to get for this camera, but they're quite expensive as well, starting from £100 upwards. So when I was offered this for free, I kind of jumped at the chance to take it. This has been a perfect companion for me as someone who likes to take my camera around to the beach, to hang out with friends, stuff that's very low-key, not for professional shoots. It's been really nice to have a kind of lightweight, cheap lens that I can toss into my bag without feeling concerned that it's going to get damaged or scratched. So in that act, it's very similar to an actual disposable film camera. One thing I haven't had much of a chance to do is actually take this out and use the flash with it, because I think it would get some really interesting photos. But Ricoh have some on their Instagram if you want to have a look and see what it looks like for that disposable camera party vibe. As I mentioned before, what's really cool about this lens coupled with the Fujifilm simulations is that it adds these extra elements of character that I couldn't do alone with my camera. These are things like the distorted vignettes and the chromatic aberrations, giving the photo an overall soft look and looks a bit more organic, like a disposable film camera. So there you have it, that's the setup. A Fujifilm camera and a disposable camera lens. If you're interested in any more slice of life street photography, then please hit that subscribe button, and if you want to see more photos, I post regularly on Instagram at filmfauxtos. Thanks again for watching, stay safe and take care, bye.